Welcome to the Wealth and Love Blueprint, where love meets logic and money reveals the truth.
Look, you spend years building everything, your career, your body, your discipline, but there's one single decision that can quietly sabotage it all. And it's not a bad investment, it's not a failed business, it's who you let inside your head. Think about that for a second. A broken heart, well, that heals. But a broken mind? That shatters your focus. It kills your ambition, and it literally rewires you for constant anxiety. You've probably felt it, right? That endless overthinking, the emotional exhaustion. And the most dangerous part is, you don't even realize your peace is gone until there's absolutely nothing left but noise. So why? Why do guys who can build empires of order in their careers end up living in total emotional chaos at home? It's not just bad luck. It's not even about having bad taste in women. The truth is, it's an invisible psychological trap. And I promise you, once you see how it works, you will never be able to unsee it. Right, so you think attraction is a choice you make, don't you? You're thinking about looks, chemistry, whether you had a great first date. But here's the thing, the real decision isn't being made by you. It's being made by your subconscious. And so often, what feels like this electrifying, incredible connection, it's just the familiar feeling of chaos being mistaken for passion. Okay, so here's the battle that's being waged inside your head completely under the surface. On one side, you've got the roller coaster of emotional chaos. It feels intense, unpredictable, it feels alive. And on the other side, you've got genuine peace. It's stable, it's supportive, it's the very foundation you need to actually grow. The problem? Your mind doesn't always want what's good for it. It wants what's familiar. And if you grew up around any kind of instability, your subconscious can get hooked on the storm, choosing it again and again over the unfamiliar calm of a safe harbor. And this is the chemical mechanism that locks you in tight. It's called intermittent reinforcement. It's the exact same principle that makes slot machines in Vegas so damn addictive. The reward, a loving text, a really good day, a moment of affection, it doesn't come all the time. It's random, it's unpredictable. So your brain doesn't get hooked on the reward itself. It gets hooked on the hope of the next one. It creates this powerful, anxiety-fueled bond that can feel absolutely impossible to break. So what does this psychological trap actually look and feel like in the real world? Well, it shows up as very distinct behavioral patterns. We're going to break down 8 of the most common archetypes, and just being able to spot them, that's the first step to reclaiming your mind. First up, the chaos addict. If life is calm, she gets bored. She feels uncomfortable. So what does she do? She creates a storm. An argument out of absolutely nowhere. A drama with a friend that suddenly becomes your problem. You're not her partner, you're her firefighter, constantly putting out these little blazes she starts just to feel something. Peace with her is impossible because for her, calm is the enemy. Next, we have the validation seeker. Now, she might seem sweet, but her self-worth is basically an empty cup, and you are her only source of water. At first, the constant need for reassurance feels kind of flattering, but pretty soon, propping up her confidence becomes your full-time job. And all that energy you should be pouring into your mission is now spent trying to fill a void that literally has no bottom. Then there's the incredibly subtle and incredibly destructive emotional manipulator. She's a master at the art of making you feel responsible for her feelings. You know the moves, the silent treatment, a sudden mood swing, a perfectly timed guilt trip, and suddenly you're the one apologizing, and you're not even sure what you did wrong. You start walking on eggshells, editing your own thoughts and actions just to keep things stable. You're not in a partnership anymore, you're in a hostage negotiation. And here she is, the living, breathing embodiment of intermittent reinforcement, the hot and cold woman. One day, she's completely in, showering you with affection. The next day, she's distant, critical, or maybe just gone. This relentless inconsistency literally hijacks your brain. It gets you addicted to the highs and absolutely desperate to avoid the lows. You find yourself obsessed not really with her, but with getting the good version of her back. It's not a relationship, it's a psychological experiment, and you're the subject. Now, meet the woman with the victim mentality. With her, nothing is ever her fault. Her boss is out to get her family doesn't get her, and you can be damn sure that any problem in your relationship is a direct result of something you did or didn't do. There's no partnership here because she flat out refuses to own her part. you get cast in one of two roles. You're either the permanent rescuer of her self-inflicted problems, or you're the villain she blames them on. The control freak, she's an artist of gradual suffocation. I mean, it never starts with demands. Oh no, it starts with suggestions, a little comment about that friend she doesn't like, a subtle guilt trip about you going to the gym. And slowly but surely, your world starts to shrink. Your friends, your hobbies, your ambitions, they all get trimmed away until the only thing left in your life is her. She doesn't add it to your life, she replaces it.
And here we have the psychic vampire, the energy drainer. Every single conversation is a deep dive into negativity, a list of complaints, fears, grievances against the world. At first, you try to help, right? You offer solutions, but you quickly realize she doesn't want solutions. She wants to drown you in the problem with her. Her pessimism is contagious, and soon you'll find your own ambition and your own optimism just being eroded by the sheer weight of it all.
And finally, maybe the most dangerous of all, the illusionist. For the first 3 months, 6 months, maybe even a year, she is perfect. She mirrors your values, she supports your goals, she seems to be the answer to everything you've ever wanted. But it's an act. It's a carefully constructed mask. And that mask only drops after you are deeply invested, after you've moved in together, after you've told everyone she's the one. By the time you finally see the toxic reality, you're in so deep that leaving feels impossible.
So, those are the patterns. But just knowing them isn't enough. Not really. The real wake-up call comes when you actually calculate the true cost. This isn't just about a few bad dates or a painful breakup. This is about the slow-motion demolition of your entire life.
And this is how it happens. The downward spiral. It always starts inside your mind, with constant overthinking. You're analyzing her words, her texts, replaying every single conversation. That mental static shatters your focus. You can't concentrate at work. Your big projects stall. And when your focus goes, you start making bad decisions, with your career, with your health, with your money. Until finally, you lose the very last thing you have left, your own identity. You are totally consumed.
Because that is the real price you pay. You look in the mirror one day, and that calm, focused, ambitious man you worked so hard to become, he's gone. And in his place is someone you don't even recognize. Someone anxious, reactive, lost. This isn't just a breakup. It's an erosion of your very self.
But listen, it does not have to end this way. Once you see the trap, you can dismantle it. This isn't about being helpless. This is about empowerment. This is about you taking back control of your own mind.
And this brings us to the most important point of this entire conversation. This is not about blaming women. It is about taking radical responsibility. It's about you becoming a better gatekeeper of your own mind. The power isn't in trying to change her. The power is in choosing better from the very beginning. I need you to let this really sink in. You can optimize your career, your fitness, your finances, right down to the last tiny detail. But if you get this one decision wrong, none of it will matter. Your choice of partner isn't a big decision. It is the single biggest decision that will determine the entire trajectory of your life. So here's the new blueprint. 4 simple rules. Number 1, recognize patterns and ignore words. Her behavior over time is the only truth there is. 2, prioritize peace over passion. That thrill of chaos is just a sugar high. Stable peace is real nourishment. 3, set boundaries without feeling guilty about it. Your peace is not negotiable. And 4, actively select for stability and support. Make it your non-negotiable criteria from day one. But the most powerful shift you can possibly make is this one. Stop asking, what did she mean by that? And start asking, how do I feel? After you talk to her, do you feel calm and clear? Or do you feel anxious and confused? Your body knows the difference between peace and chaos long before your logical mind is willing to admit it. Your own nervous system is the ultimate truth detector. You have to learn to trust it. And this all leads to a fundamental shift in your identity. Look, building a business or a great physique, that's one thing. But the ultimate measure of a man who is truly on his path is the non-negotiable protection of his mental peace. His mind is his single most valuable asset, and he vets who gets access to it with the most rigorous standards. So, after all of this, what's the one thing to remember? Simple. The calm, clear, focused mind that allows you to build your life. That is your superpower. That peace is your power. Don't trade it for cheap excitement. Don't sacrifice it on the altar of trying to fix someone else. Protect it.
at all costs.
By aligning your heart and your finances, you unlock true growth. Subscribe to Wealth and Love Blueprint.